I bought a dehydrator recently, so it's the first time I've ever used a dehydrator to make beef jerky. I usually make it on my pellet smoker, and it comes out absolutely amazing. For a basic marinade, you could just use soy sauce. It has enough salt in it. Then once you take it out of the packet and you're ready to put it in your dehydrator, you could just do a light coating of pepper, maybe a little bit of salt. Soy sauce is loaded with salt already, so in my opinion, you really don't need it. But what I'm doing for this recipe is a sweet and spicy beef jerky. So for that, on this plate here, to add to the marinade, I have some ground up dried habanero peppers that I grew a few years ago that are insanely hot. About 2 tablespoons of sugar. And then I'm going to add some sweet heat hot sauce along with the soy sauce. Now, normally what I would do is I would partially freeze the London broil or round eye that I use to make the beef jerky, but I'm kind of in a rush. Get out of here, you stupid cat. Stupid cat. It's knocking the tripod around. Let me check that. Yeah, of course. Sorry about that. So you want to use London broil, top round London broil, or eye round. I kind of like the London broil better. So normally you want to freeze it partially, and it's a lot easier to slice, especially if you don't have a really sharp knife. But if you do have a really sharp knife, you can do it cold. I'm kind of in a rush. I got a craving for beef jerky, so I figured perfect time to go buy some London broil and film it. So what you want to do, it's real important to keep each slice pretty even. So you want to do them about 1/4 inch thick. And if there's any fat, like that, you want to get rid of that. You want to try and not waste too much, but you also don't want fat or uneven pieces, because then it doesn't dry at the same rate, and it makes it a real pain in the ass. Also looks unattractive. So why don't I just go trim that little piece off right there, toss it in the garbage. But this is the ideal thickness that you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut all these into strips. Yeah, it's a little too thick. It's okay. This is about 2 1/4 pounds, which sounds like a lot, but once it dries, I think it'll give you probably close to 1 pound of product. Real sharp knife makes it a lot easier. Oh, and real important is you want to try and go, a lot of people debate on this, you want to try and go with the grain. I personally like my jerky a little bit of a challenge to chew. If you go cross grain, it's going to break apart very easily. Now, a piece like this, you can see grain goes in different directions, kind of makes it difficult. So you kind of switch your cut and adjust as need be. So I'm going to try and stay with the grain here. I thought of that because the last couple of pieces I cut seemed to be cross grain. Keep it nice and even. Little piece of fat, get rid of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another cut or two, and I'm going to stop this video so it doesn't drag on too long. no reason to watch me slice an entire 2-pound slab of meat. Alright, I had a little mishap, but it's no big deal. So, basically what I did was I added all the slices into the bag, poured a good 3/4 of a cup of soy sauce, about 1/3 of a cup of the sweet heat hot sauce. I also dumped in that mixture I showed you of about 2 tablespoons of sugar, brown sugar preferably, but I didn't have it, so I used white regular sugar, and the crushed up dried habaneros I had. I also added in about a good teaspoon or so of crushed black pepper, but we're going to put that on once we take this out of the bag, dry it off, and get it ready for the dehydrator. Also, what's great about slicing it up before you marinate is it only takes an hour or two to get some nice flavor in there because you got those real thin slices of beef. So we're going to give it 2 hours, and once this is ready, we're going to come back and we're going to get it in the dehydrator. Alright, and I was thinking, since normally I do this on my smoker, I don't have to dry it off first. So I thought maybe, because of using the dehydrator, that I might have to let it go a little bit longer, because I don't want everything dripping down on top of it. So what I did was, and this is a good way to test if you think you've marinated it long enough, is just throw it in a frying pan and see what it tastes like. You're mostly checking for the salt content more than flavor. So it's been just about 2 hours and it's perfect. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna take this bag out and I'm gonna make some holes in it. I'm gonna drain everything out. Then I'm gonna put it individually onto some paper towel, make sure it's nice and dry before I lay it out on here. Okay, so what I did was I took the bag, I cut both bottom corners off and made a bunch of holes on each side. I squeezed a lot of the juice marinade out of it, and I put it in this bowl here. And I set 2 layers of paper towel here and just quickly laid each piece down, flipped it to get most of the juice off. Laid out one side, one tray I mean, and sprinkled some black pepper over it. So, that's about it. I have 3 more trays to do, and once I'm finished running it in the dehydrator, I'll show you how to tell when it's done. Alright, so all 4 layers are ready. Put the lid on, and I'm going to plug it in. I have no idea how long this is going to take, so I'm going to check it in, say, 2 hours, and it probably won't even be close. It has been almost 3 hours, and let's take the lid off, and I'll show you. Nope. Cat trying to interfere, sorry. As you can see, it looks dry, it's getting dry, but not even close. Still plenty of moisture in it. What you want is, you want to be able to bend it where it's just starting to crack. I'm thinking it's got probably about another hour and a half, so we'll check back. Alright, this took much longer than I thought. I'm gonna let them go, but some of them are getting there. See how this one's starting to crack? But you could still bend it. But like I said, you gotta slice them evenly. This one's not even close. Still got probably another hour. When they're all done, take another video. It's pretty close right here. See how it's starting to break? Pretty close to what you want. Alright, it came out excellent. Here's what you want. I'll be able to fold it, like I said. And you fold it all the way, it's gonna crack. You still want some flexibility to it. I think it was about 4 hours and 45 minutes. I sliced these a little bit thicker than I normally would have. The next step after this is you want to lay it all out on some paper towel or paper plates and let it cool off for about 2 hours before you bag it. That way you know all the moisture that might be remaining is completely gone. You don't want to see any oily spots on it. So that is it. Like I said, 2-hour marinade. That's all you need. I just don't understand. Most of these recipes I see online, you know, call for 4 hours minimum. It's not necessary. It's going to make the meat too tender, and you're going to have way too much salt content. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot.